And welcome everybody to the Growcast Show episode 12. I have with me on episode 12 Irfan and Sandra. They are the founders of Living Well Mate Agency. And Irfan and Sandra, let's start off by asking, how are the two of you related?
Sandra?
We are husband and wife.
Husband and wife team.
Very nice. And so husband and wife working together, playing together as well. What is the hardest part about working together?
The hardest part of working together is someone has to give in.
Must know how to manage the feeling well.
Yeah.
Very nice. And I always
to sleep well at night.
To sleep well. I like that as well. And so I always like to start off by asking this question to all my guests. What does being better than normal mean to you?
Okay, being better than normal, right? To me, what I believe is if you're normal, then most of the time you are just doing things more for your own needs. And if you are better, you are doing things not only for your needs, but you're also thinking of other people's needs.
People.
So you're thinking of like a community, thinking of everyone, including yourself. Yeah, that is always better.
Thinking beyond yourself, yeah?
Beyond yourself, yeah.
Very nice. And so I love the definition of better than normal. What makes you better than normal?
What makes us better than normal? We are someone that always believe in improving ourselves. Like even for our maid agency, we always strive in thinking of how we can always match better, how we can always select better, and how can we support better. So that's what we do every day, even at night when we'll talk about it, me and Sandra.
Very nice. Work hazard, right? You talk about it at night,
in
the morning as well. And I know you've got a really amazing origin story as well. Maybe you can share, what is the origin story of Living Well?
Okay, actually I'm Indonesian, and then I came here about 9 years ago. And then I happened to see like helper is not being treated well. So I told Irfan that time, Fan, I just want to do maid agency. So he was angry with me that, hey, you just came to Singapore, you have no experience at all, you never work in this industry. How you want to open this maid agency? Then I told him, I want to do better. I don't want to do like just give employer match and then just go, but I really want to take care of the helper to make sure that helper will achieve their goals. And then so they can spend the rest of their time is not working as a helper in Singapore, but going back to home country and to live together with the loved one in home country. That is my purpose. Yeah.
I like that beautiful purpose as well. And I know, Sandra, you have got an alter ego on TikTok as well, right? That as Ma'am Sandra. So tell us a bit more about you being on TikTok. How many followers do you have? How many likes do you have? And what do you do on TikTok?
Okay, so talking about the followers is about 85,000, close to 85,000 with 1.4 million likes. So it happened, I mean, I don't really into TikTok, but I started during COVID as well because I noticed that helper are very worried about how to going back. Can I come back to Singapore and work? And then employer also worried how can I get helper, and rules regulation changing very, very fast. So I just educate. I like to share. I like to educate, give information. By the way, we are specialized in Indonesian helper. So I'm more give info about regulation in Indonesia and how to come back to Singapore with
SHN,
and then so on and so on. So with that, helper not that really worried because most of them scared. I cannot makan in Indonesia, how can I come back to work in Singapore? So I tell them, you must do this first, follow the protocol, and then hopefully you need to pray hard to come back to Singapore. Because I think I'm genuine on sharing, so they really, I can sense like they really likes how I care about them through my platform, the TikTok platform. Yeah.
I think it makes perfect sense. I think you talked about educating people on video, and TikTok is a place where you can use it on videos, right?
Yeah.
So maybe both of you can share, or maybe Sandra, you can share, how important is videos in helping to build trust between your potential clients and your situation, your potential helpers?
Yeah. So if we're talking about TikTok, employers or clients will think, oh, helper with addicted and do stupid things through TikTok. But actually, I always educate the helper because during must be professional. Work is work. When you comes to work, you cannot use your handphone like us lah. We very professional doing things also. So I educate them on if you using your TikTok, just share good things. Okay, it's okay. You want to dance, you want to singing during your off day is okay, but not too much. So at the other side, employer will see, oh yeah, this TikTok is actually benefit helper as well. So this feels that I want employer know that helper also a human being that they need some happiness. So how to get happiness is only like through the social media for now.
Yep.
Nowadays, it's not like 20 years over that they don't know TikTok, no need handphone also can, but now it's very different. So by this, employer also understand that, oh, I never like tell the wrong thing to the helper, but I'm educating them. At the same time, I also let the employer know the helper is also doing the right thing through this platform. Yeah.
I agree with that as well. And because I also myself got a helper as well very recently. So maybe I can ask you, what should I look for when I'm looking for a maid agency?
Yeah.
Okay, so when you're looking for a maid agency, right, you want, at the end of the day, right, you are actually looking for a helper that can works well for your family and then can do her job well, and then you're actually happy with her service. So when you're looking for a maid agency, what you're looking for is somebody who can do a good selection process of the right helper. And then next is matching to your needs. And the last one is to give you the support that you need when things are challenging. So that's because of that, we actually have this system called SMS or SMS system, select, match, and support.
Very nice. And what should I get a new experienced helper or a transfer helper? I mean, there are so many categories of helper, right? There are 3 categories. So maybe I can ask you, should I get a new helper, an experienced helper, or a transfer helper?
There are many reasons why employers either take a new and then experience or transfer. So maybe I'll just start with new. So a new helper, typically why someone prefers a new helper is because they are not exposed. Yeah. Typically in my experience, they want somebody who's not too exposed, because sometimes too exposed, they worry, later got money lending issue or like boyfriend issue or any like bad friends issue, that kind of thing, wrong mixture with the wrong company. So the clients, when they take someone new, normally they fear of the exposure. So they want someone that is not exposed. But having said that, when they take a new helper, the helper might take a longer time to adapt. Yeah. So next will be experience. So why you take experience is because they know what to do. So that's the plus point. They know what to do. You don't need to tell them, repeat so many times, The way they transit is faster. But having said that, they are exposed, So maybe you will have the fear, this person really exposed. Then how, then what will this problem happen? So there's always a risk. And the last one is transfer. Why employers want to take transfer helper is because it's fast. They are really fast. But my feedback is, if you want to take a transfer helper, maybe you should just ask what is the reason for the transfer. That's something that you want to take note of.
I understand. Makes perfect sense as well. And when people who are in Singaporeans, when both the husband and wife are working, right? Yeah. So in situations where both a husband and wife are working, should they get a helper or should they send their child to childcare?
Okay, so this is a very good question because there are different reasons to why you take a helper or you send a children to childcare. Maybe I come to the position of why someone with children wants to take a helper. So there are actually 3 reasons. One is safety, because you're going to work, so you want to make sure your children are safe and then they are well fed, with the right food and all that. Safety. Next is the comfort of you after a hard day at work. You want to go home, you want to see a nice house. You want to see your children having dinner already, shower already, all settled. Because if you don't have a helper, then you're really
You need to
tired
do
at work,
everything.
and then you go back. Okay. Then you have to feed, then you have to shower, then you have to change the diapers. Then you have to put them to sleep, and then have you eaten your own dinner? Have you showered? Then you're going to sleep late. That kind of thing. And the last one is time. If you get a helper, by not doing that, you're going to gain time. You can rest. Yeah. So coming to another position, if you send it to a childcare, what you're going to get similar is actually you're going to get safety, but the main difference will be these 2 points. If you send a helper to a childcare, you are going to get the child not only safety, but you can help the child to develop knowledge. The child will learn, and also the child can be able to interact, because sometimes you don't want them to be selfish, play with their own toys, learn how to share, that kind of thing. So these are the things that a child care can do better. But what you get with a maid agency is actually you get the comfort and you get time. Because in life, money can never buy time, but the only thing that help you buy time is a helper from Living Well Maid Agency.
Yeah.
I like that. Very nicely said as well. So everybody who doesn't want more time, right?
True.
Who doesn't want more time? And at the end of the day, especially for entrepreneurs, business owners, time is money. So that becomes an actual way to do that as well. And before somebody actually gets a helper, right? During the interview with the helper, what should employers look out for?
During the interview with the helper, okay. So we actually in Living Well, we have this 9-step of what you should share, what you should ask, and what you can observe during the interview. So we start with what you can share. The first thing that you can share is what is the main priority in the household. Because what will be the most important? Is it children care? Are you getting a helper for children care? Is it for elderly care? Or is it for cooking? Or is it for cleaning? So it's normally, or is it for looking after pets? So it's either one main priority. The next one is good that you share your household rules. So any rules, because this could be deal breakers, because sometimes different culture, the helper is not aware of your rules. Then once they do it, then the trust is gone. Then it's very hard to narrow that gap of the trust, really. So you can early share the household rules. And the last one is you can share the schedule. Because, for example, if you have children, the most important scheduling is actually in the morning.
At night.
You need to prepare the clothes, pack the food, uniform all ready. So it's a very tight schedule. So you might want to tell, okay, morning schedule very tight, afternoon schedule maybe lesser, then night schedule also tight. So the scheduling helps the helper to be more aware and prepare herself. So that's what you can share. What you can ask is, number one, you can ask about her experience. How's her experience, whether she has experience or not. Even if she doesn't have an experience, right? You can also just check whether she has learned this from the training center. Yep. And the next thing that you can ask is, what is her favorite job scope? Because everybody has a favorite thing that they like to do, this and that. Because most likely, if you know how to maybe the favorite job scope is children and your main expectation is children, then you know that this is something in a line. Then even if she is not that experienced in that, but once you are favorite at something, then there'll be a willingness to want to do it better.
True.
Yeah. So, and the last one is, purpose. Everybody in life needs to have purpose. So you should ask the helper, so what's your purpose of working? Because this one you might find it funny. I've ever asked a helper, what is your purpose of working in Singapore? She told me that, I want to see the Merlion.
Want to go Sentosa.
Want to go Sentosa and see Universal Studio and take photos. So knowing with that kind of response, you get fearful. So even me as an agency, I hear that, I'll get fearful. So the typical response for purpose for a helper is they want to send their children to school. They
Build
want
a house.
to build a house. They are thinking about the future. So you know that this they have a strong purpose, and someone with a strong purpose normally along the way when they face challenges, they won't just quit. Yeah. And the last one, sorry, I know this is a bit long. The last one is what you can observe. What you can observe during an interview is, number one, what you can easily observe, whether this helper is polite. And the second one is whether the helper is willing. How you can observe willingness is just
Flexibility.
ask her like question, are you willing to do this? Are you willing to do this? Then, because in the helper is going to be there in your house for 2 years. So if there's no flexibility, everybody drawing line, right? The relationship might have a lot of friction. Yeah. So flexibility is important. And the last one is communication. So is it when you speak to her, she answers, when she asks you a question, she answers, is there a flow, right? Because when the communication is easy, then you won't have the issue of like you ask her to do A, and then she do B. And then you ask her to do B, then she do A, then after a while there'll be frustration. So you won't have that issue. So these are the 9 tips for.
No, I like that. I like the fact that it's very in-depth and it will be very helpful before somebody actually speaks to a potential helper, right?
Yep.
And in your experience, I mean, I can tell you've got a lot of experience as well. Can you provide some information about your agency experience and your track record in the industry?
Okay, so we have been around since 2017. When we started off, it was a sole proprietor. And then back in 2020, we have changed it to private limited, and we actually brought our statistic from MWM website. Maybe I should show it here, right? Yeah. So basically from MWM website, you are able to see the statistic of every employment agency. And I can just share with you roughly what is our rating and statistic.
Mm-hmm.
So we have a rating of 4.5 out of 5 in the MWM website. And also the next thing is there's this thing called retention, transfer, placement experience. If you look at it generally, if you see more green, right? Green is good. Yeah. So our retention is So basically our retention, transfer, placement is above average. Yeah. And there's a lot of greens here.
No, so I like that.
Maybe I can show it if you want to see it. No?
Yeah, of course. I mean, I remember, I didn't even know that there's such a thing on the MOM website that you can actually find it as well. So I think this is very, very helpful where before anybody decides to get a helper, they should definitely look and do into the research as well. I like the fact that it's very transparent and amazing that, everything above average and green is always good. I agree with that as well. I'll agree with that as well. And how did, and I'm sure there are many things that you do, but how did you get started in the maid agency business?
Yeah, like I shared just now, also everything started from me.
She started first.
Yeah, I started first about 3 months earlier. Then after that, Ifan joined. Why I asked Ifan join, then I told her, rather than you work for people, then why don't we just work together, a team, husband and wife team, to help. So I'm very strong in gather the helper details, then you will take care of our clients. Yeah.
So I can just add on that. I used to be in the aviation industry. Then after that, Sandra, if you ask me in this business, Sandra is a heart. I'm more of the head. I do find that Sandra is brave. Maybe being a Singaporean, we are always risk adverse. Hey, want to take one step, 2 step back, 1 step. So when we started, I wasn't really fully convinced of doing a maid agency. But after a while, that when I saw what she's doing, she was really trying to do a really proper matching. Really, because you do a good match, right? What happens is that the employer, the clients can fully lay their trust on that helper and fully be focused on their work that they are doing. Knowing that my children is safe, my parents are safe, they are all well fed, and then you can just deal with your work and your boss, without any like, hey, alamak, this one, that one, you don't have that worry. So that was the intent that we want to do, and that's why we always try to up our game in thinking of how to match better. So that's,
I like that as well. And with regards to, matching, right? How do you select and screen before recommending to the client?
So we have a selection process, and we follow this thing called the 3 steps. We are always looking for a helper that is, number one, they must be polite. Yeah. I say they must be polite because it's easy to be polite when people are nice to you. But when, let's say, the employer a bit loud and all that, sometimes you tend to react. So you want someone who's always polite in spite of any situation. So that's now our number 1 point. Number 2 is the helper must be able to follow instruction. Yeah. So So if the helper can follow instruction, then most of the time they'll be also okay. And the last point is the willingness to learn. We are looking for somebody who is always open to learning, cooking, different methods of cleaning, and whether to look after children or elderly. The more they are willing, the more eager the more successful they will be at the employee's house. Yeah.
Makes perfect sense. And, because there are so many ways to get a helper, right? Is it easy for someone to get a helper directly compared to growing through a maid agency?
Okay, that's a very good question. So, it is possible for an employer to directly hire a helper. That is definitely possible. But at the same time, currently there's a lot of process in terms of actually hiring a helper. If you are somebody who doesn't have the time to read through all the process, right, it definitely will be more convenient if you get an agency who believes in matching correctly and to help you so that it will facilitate. And also, let's just say you do it on your own. There'll be you might not be that expert in selecting, because you have not seen we have seen, if you ask me, we have seen more than 1,000 of helpers. So roughly, getting the right one is within the instinct, selecting. And then even for the matching, you might not know what you should be asking, and then you already think that person is good. And then the last issue is, let's just say she wasn't the right one. And then if she's not the right one, and then now you're already busy working, and then now you have to find someone new, then you're going to have a lot of headache. If you get a maid agency, if you're working for a maid agency, so don't worry, if you don't get a right one, you still can get a replacement, So, and especially for us, when you try to get a replacement, we will definitely do our best to find a more suitable fit for you. So yeah, there's a...
Let's talk a little bit about that as well. What is the refund or return or replacement policy for Living Well Maid Agency?
Okay, so for the replacement and refund, we offer maybe we start with replacement. For the replacement, we offer one replacement within a warranty period of 6 months. So it doesn't mean it's free, but what it means is you're definitely going to pay a much lower cost than getting a new helper from us. So you will definitely save from getting a replacement instead of getting someone new. For the refund, likewise, 6 months. So there's this thing called a refund of the service fee. So whatever service fee that we have charged to you, and this is actually an MOM policy also. So if you request to get a refund within the 6 months, as long as you return the helper to us, we will refund you 50% of the service fee that you have paid to us.
It makes perfect sense, because at least it gives the employers a peace of mind, right? And correct. Maybe I think we've come to the last question, which I think is the most important question, maybe second last question as well, which is, how many employers have you matched with the right helper?
So far, we are nearing to about 1,000 clients. And 1,000 clients.
Now is about 900 plus.
900 plus, nearing to 1,000.
Okay. So that was very good. Maybe we want to find out a little bit more about, if people want to find out about Living Well Maid Agency, right? Maybe you can look into the camera and talk about this as well. Where can people find out more about Living Well Maid Agency?
Okay, so we are in social media, and also we have a website. So number one, you can actually go to our website.
Yeah,
and you can look through our website, and then you can also look through the helpers that we have available.
Yeah.
And then from there you can also directly contact to us. Other than that, if you want to have more understand what we are, right, you can actually follow us at TikTok at Living Well Maid Agency, and in TikTok you will see quite a number of videos that we have created that educating domestic helpers and also employers. Me and Sandra, we believe in sharing what we know so that the audience, those who are looking at us, will get a better fit for your family.
Yeah. Yep. We also in Instagram and also Facebook.
And Facebook, yeah.
And then, of course, we are located at City Plaza, level 3, unit 80.
0380, that's right. Yeah.
Very nice. I'll be dropping by and visiting you guys real soon as well. And thank you so much, Irfan and Sandra, for coming on the Growcast Show. And that was episode 12 of the Growcast Show. Looking forward to bringing you more guests as well.